Minecrafters, and welcome back to modded Minecraft, coming to you from the KerPOWCraft Age of Heroes server. This is KerPOWCraft Season 4 that has recently been started, and I'm here at the farmland in our little home village here that we're going to completely change. And one thing that comes with this mod pack is Pam's Harvest Craft, and with that also comes the fact that things like carrots don't nearly give back as much as they used to. You can see here it is only half of a food haunch or a hunger bar or whatever you want to call it, and that's not going to do very much. Now, in addition to that, we also have a nutrition system, and if we come in here and take a look at this, as long as we eat a balanced diet, we'll be all right. And I believe when we get these at 100%, they're going to give us a bonus of some sort. But the problem is eating right. As you can see, the carrots are considered vegetables, and they grow in spring and autumn. See, now that's the thing. We have what's called a seasons mod on here as well. So the seasons do change between summer, winter, fall, and spring. And some crops will grow only in certain seasons. Like the seeds here are summer and autumn. So you have spring and autumn, summer and autumn, right? Well, that's not gonna do. We need crops to be able to grow all the time, and we need to be able to make better food as well. What I mean by better food is to be able to come over here, and if we take a look at Pam's, you can see we have all these different kinds of things that we can be planting and harvesting, and eventually we can get to making better foods. See, like the raisin cookies here provide all fruit, grain, and protein, and 3 food haunches, so that's not bad, right? We come over a little bit, we can get spicy mustard pork, which is only protein, but if we look at garlic bread, it's both dairy and grain. So we need to be able to make better food. What do we need to do to make better food? Well, let's go back in there real quick, and if we go to the seasons mod, you can see that we have this greenhouse glass. Now, I believe the greenhouse glass will be able to let us to grow food throughout all the seasons, no matter what. So whatever season it is not going to affect that food being grown. Problem is here is that we need glass, specifically cyan or light gray stained glass. It might be all the stained glass, but either way, we need the stained glass, and we need cyan dye or pigment. So let's see, for the cyan, in order to make cyan, we need cactus green and lapis lazuli. But we did see that cyan pigment. Let's take a look at what it takes to make the pigment from thermal foundation. Is we put cyan wool inside of a pulverizer or a centrifugal separator. Well, we're not ready for the thermal expansion stuff yet. So we need to do it the old-fashioned way. We need to make cyan dye. In order to make cyan dye, we need to combine cactus green and blue and lapis lazuli or blue dye. So we're going to have to go off and try to find some cacti. And I don't think I have any cacti as of yet. I believe there are some in the community area at spawn, though. I just want to double check real quick, see if I got any cacti or not. I don't see any there. Oh, we do have some cactus. Perfect. So I can go ahead and start planting down some of this cactus, and that won't be a problem to grow some of this up, so we can get some of this cactus green dye here. I'm just going to throw these, I guess up here works. So we can try to get those growing. And we're going to have to get a lot more of them as well. So you know what? What do you say we go ahead and build a little bit of a farm for these? All right, so now that we have a simple cactus farm going here, we can go ahead and let this run for a little bit. As more cactus pops out, we'll go ahead and plant more up there. I've already got a couple extra from what we had. I had 5, there's 7 planted now. So we got 2 additional ones planted. So we're gonna wait for more of those to pop out. We'll start planting more up, and we'll actually expand on this later. This is just a simple thing for right now. So in addition to that, we're going to need a place to plant all of our crops right once we have all of this greenhouse glass. And since we're already over this way, this whole area I'm going to be transforming. So why don't we just take down this mountain area here, and we're going to make that into what's going to be our greenhouse. So let me work on taking that down. All right, so there we go. We got that mountain completely taken down. We have our flattened out area here where we are going to be building a very, very large greenhouse. But before we can do that, if we go back into the recipe here for just enough items and we look up the greenhouse glass, once again, we can see that we need the glass itself. And well, in order to get glass, we need sand. So we got to go get a lot of sand to do this. And since we don't have shulker boxes yet or any way to carry mass amounts of things, we're going to utilize the backpacks mod. I don't remember what the actual mod is called. We'll check that in just one second. When we get up to our crafting table up here, let's go ahead and take a look, because we hear all the villagers sitting there going, Let's take a look. Backpack. You can see I already got 2 backpacks in my inventory. I have a diamond one and a gold one. But we're just going to make a couple of the basic backpacks here, which is going to be 4 pieces of leather, 4 pieces of wool, and a chest. Now, I believe I got all that in my inventory already, enough to make 3 of them. And we're going to fill up all 3 of them with sand, because it just sounds good. All right, so my question is that how much space is actually in one of these backpacks? Not a whole lot. We need to upgrade these backpacks to an iron, or better yet, gold. Now, one problem with that. If we look through my inventory here, I have 1 iron ingot. I have no other iron ores to smelt down to make iron ingots. So we need to go get some iron. Thankfully, over at spawn, I believe there is some iron in a community chest. So let's go ahead, head over there and take a look. All right, so here we are at spawn, where they have set up a thermal dynamics or thermal foundations set up here, where we have a pulverizer to double the ores, then a redstone furnace to go ahead and burn it down, and eventually the output comes to here where we can see that there is actually a ton of iron here. I'm gonna sneak away with an entire stack, and now we can go ahead and upgrade some of these chests to the iron backpack first, which requires a chest, a backpack, and then surround it by iron. And we're going to do all 3 of those. Except the backpacks don't stack, do they? No, they don't. So we gotta do those individually here. Get those done real quick. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take what gold I have inside my diamond backpack here. I got 24 gold ore. I'm gonna go ahead and take that and use the pulverizer and redstone furnace. And we're gonna go ahead and take those, double the ores, go ahead and burn them up into the furnace, I believe. Yep. Furnace is taking them right away, making them into gold, and the gold is being added to a stack that was already here. So I had 24, so double that, and we should get 50 gold back. Now the nice thing is going to be is right once this hits 50, I can just take this and just let the rest of it process as normal. So I'll just wait for that to come on out to there. Take it. And now we can go ahead and upgrade our iron backpacks to gold backpacks. which is pretty simple. Pretty much the same as the iron backpack recipe. So we have a gold one there, a gold one here, and a final gold one there. And now we're going to take that and we're going to go out and get as much sand as what will fit inside of all of those backpacks. I do have another gold backpack here, and if we take a look at it, I got some foodstuffs and some blocks in there, which are gonna be emptied out as well. But so we're gonna try to fill all of those backpacks with sand, so we got to find some place to get some sand. So let's go exploring in the water and see if we can find a good beach. All right, so here we are a little bit west of where spawn is. Spawn is, if I zoom out way over here, we are all the way on the west side here of our little continental island, where we're going to go ahead and start digging up sand here. But I want to point out a couple things first. Is one, these little guys, these filch lizards, they keep on trying to steal stuff out of my inventory, and every once in a while we'll actually find one already carrying something, but I don't see one at the moment. Stop trying to steal my inventory. So in addition to that, we have this quicksand going on here. I had to use a little blocks to get out of here, but once we get in, there's really no getting out. As far as going along the surface, see, it won't let me get out of the quicksand. I actually have to use a bucket of water here. And we can go ahead and put it against this block. It'll change that block to water and make those ones more solid so we can actually get out of the quicksand. But otherwise, if you don't have something to put around you, you can't get out of there. And that is rough. But thankfully, we have a way out. So let's go ahead and kill off this filch lizard as well, so he doesn't try to steal anything from me, like they've been doing. We got, so see, here's somebody that already has something. He's got a little piece of flint is what it looks like. And we can smack him and get it back. And then just go ahead and take him out so he doesn't try to steal anything else. But all right, we're going to go ahead and work on taking out all of this sand from around here. Well, I shouldn't say taking out all the sand. We're going to fill up 3.5 golden backpacks with it. And that dirt, I don't know what that's all about. I know that that is a dungeon tactics dungeon, I believe. Along with that one over there, that's a dungeon tactics tower. Dangerous places right now, being as far away from spawn as we are at almost 1,000 blocks out. That's the thing, is, I don't remember if I said that before, the farther out from spawn you are, the more life, the more dangerous, the more hit points monsters and creatures have. So you gotta be careful. The further out from spawn you get, the harder things get, the easier it is to die. That's why we're going to stick out here only during the daytime and try to get as much sand. So let's go ahead and fill up these backpacks and get back to our little village. All right, so let me try to explain what's going on here as best I can. So when I did the mining session, we got a whole lot of cobblestone from underneath the place. Now, that got me to thinking, what can I do with cobblestone? I know I can use a hammer on cobblestone to make it into gravel, then use a hammer on gravel in order to make it into sand, so we didn't have to go and mine up a whole bunch of sand that I already spent about 2 hours doing and didn't get very much. So it struck me. We have thermodynamics? I think it was called thermodynamics. Thermal expansion and thermodynamics. We have those two in the mod pack, right? So, these lava crucibles, magma crucibles, can take netherrack, but it can also take cobblestone or stone and make it into lava. Where's cobblestone? There it is. Cobblestone into lava for 300,000 RF. Now, the nice thing is about the netherrack is that it only uses 60,000 RF, I believe it was. Where's that at? Netherrack only uses 60,000 RF to make 1 bit of lava, right? Okay, so With that, we take the lava. So we have this chest full of netherrack, which, as you can see, puts the netherrack into the crucibles. From there, the crucibles melts it down to lava and put it into the lava tanks. The lava tanks give the lava to the magmatic dynamo, which takes the lava and changes it into RF. You can see we currently have an output of 40 from this one. Takes that energy, puts it into the energy cells to store it when needed. Energy cells output on that red line to this pulverizer, which is taking cobblestone and making it into, can't see it there, but just went up and makes gravel. And every once in a while, it'll give an output of sand as well. So one piece of cobblestone will equal one gravel and sometimes one sand. Then we can take that sand, put it into this redstone furnace, which is also using the RF to go ahead and smelt that into glass. So that is all that's happening behind the scenes here. We have 4 of these dynamos doing the job. We have 4 lava tanks. We have 4 crucibles, all providing power just for these 2 things to do that. Now, unfortunately, this is going rather slow, but it's about the equivalent of a furnace. So we're taking a whole bunch of items and doing that. Now, what I could have done, I could have taken everything coming out of this chest and put it directly into this one, but then the gravel would have been going in there also. And there is a way to do filters with the servo here, but I'm not going to do that right now. What we have here will work just fine for melting the glass, or melting the sand into glass, so that we can use it to make our greenhouse glass for what's going to be our greenhouse. So let's go ahead and rust this night away and look at making some greenhouse glass. Alright, so I'm back from collecting a whole bunch of blue flowers to make blue dye with. And you take a look in the chest, we have lots of blue dye here. We have about 4 stacks of the greenhouse glass. We need a total of about 7.5. There's still a lot of work to do. We have to wait for cacti in order to get green dye to change the blue dye into cyan in order to make these greenhouse glass, because you can see it requires cyan dye. Any kind of glass will work for the other parts here, and we need planks in the middle. So while we wait for those cacti to gather, as we need quite a bit of it, we're going to go ahead and start planning this out for where exactly we're going to be putting this nice big greenhouse for everybody on the server to enjoy, to grow some food and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get to doing a little bit of build here and see what we can do. Alright, so there we go. We have the first planning phase here of where the farm plots are actually going to go inside of this greenhouse. I want to leave a good 3 gap between them. So one, I want to put it stairs up to get onto them, and then we'll put a middle lane as well. We're going to go ahead and put everything on a half slab here so that it's raised up a little bit, which means no spawns, no creatures coming inside of this place. We don't want no special guests. We want just the crops. So now we're going to go ahead and put in what's going to be the upper crossbars. And since we're doing this long ways this way, we're going to go ahead and pull it out about 5 blocks here for an internal 5 block, like small little storage areas right here for like chests that are going to contain the crops or seeds or whatnot, just going all along here. So let's get this floor in. I want to do the floor out of spruce, and let's get the upper crossbars going in. That's going to hold the glass, but the glass itself is only going to be above the areas of cropland where it needs to be, because it's a lot to make this greenhouse glass. We're working really hard on it. So let's go ahead and get started and get this part done as well. Okay, so there's the walkway all around. So we have a 3-wide gap between each plot of land. We have the stairs coming down, a slab, and then stairs going up. So we have about a 2-wide walk between each of them, except for the edges over here. We have 2.5 walk before the step up. That's because this is where we're going to put the walls for this place to start with. But like I said, we need to get the cross beams in here, so we're gonna do that out of oak. I think oak logs are gonna work best for that. So let's put all this spruce back away, and we'll come back to that in a minute. And let's grab a couple things of oak logs. And so we're gonna have primary ones going up and over. Oh, that's just something I forgot about. I have to extend this out a little bit more. In that, what we're going to be doing here, I'm going to put full blocks down here because I can't put a chest on top of a slab. It's going to be floating a little bit. I don't want things to be floating a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and put down 3 wide. Actually, we'll only do 2. So we've got a decent walkway. We'll do 2 wide full blocks. So that bumps the chests up. We don't have to go down for the chest. And we're going to work on that. So let me get that done real quick and the cross beams in. All right, so there we go. We have our basic framing that we're going to be going with here. I need to do a little bit fill in at certain spots in the back and the front here. Those certain spots being like this right here. I don't know if we're going to make that either planks to cover it in or if we're going to continue the log all the way over. Not quite sure yet. We'll get to that and when we get to it. And we have this, instead of putting all the chests along the back here, we're going to put in this little landing area, right? We're going to have it roughly about 4 wide here, or 5 wide there. We're going to have the chests all lined up along the walls here. So it'll be basically more or less you come in, you get what you want out of this little landing area, and then leave if you need to. Or if you're here to garden, you go ahead, come forward, go ahead and take out everything from the 6 garden areas. Then come in here and put them in the necessary chests, whichever you need to do. So now we need to do a little bit more. We need to add more to this, and I'm going to start with putting in some accents to this area, to these areas. We're going to make these all into giant windows all the way around. Because that's really what a greenhouse is. It's got windows everywhere. So first thing we're going to do is put in some accents on the bottom and on the top. And as I was talking before, one of my favorite woods is right over there to work with. We're going to go chop down a whole bunch of birch and get in the accents here. And so I'll be back in a moment. All right, so there's all the accent and glass. And I decided to go ahead and use the cyan stained glass panes, because the actual greenhouse glass is cyan in color as well. So that's why I went ahead and filled all of these in with cyan glass to match that. And I like using the stairs like this. The birchwood stairs kind of work out, I think they work out well like that. And so once again, we're going to have the antechamber, chests all around, and then the actual greenhouse itself with everything here. Well, I think at this time it's going to be good to start throwing in a bit of a ceiling. And we're going to start with everything that is not above the farmland here is going to become either glass or a slab. I think we're going to continue the glass on these two, and then we'll do stairs coming across, then glass there and stairs coming across, so forth and so on, except for over the grassland or the farmland. Let's go ahead and get that started. And we're going to go with the cyan glass again, so I'll be back. So it looks like we got all of the non-greenhouse glass in. I went ahead and did a couple more accents with the corners from up above where those stairs are going to be. Went and changed things up there a little bit. And we'll actually run on up there real quick to take a look. Let me just go ahead and grab, except I put them away, didn't I? Let's grab some spruce wood here so we can go take a look at that real quick. We go ahead and jump on up right here. You can see what I'm talking about is we went ahead and boxed that off like so, and we went ahead and I did not do it to this side. Let me go ahead and grab some spruce stairs to do this with. Just make a couple. And what I'm talking about is we bring that around like so. We bring it over one, and then we just cap it. I like the way that that caps off like that. So go ahead and do that to the other side. All right, so we got that going on these sides. Not doing that down here since this runs all the way down and doesn't have stopping at the middle, and it doesn't cover the farmland down there. So now we're ready to bring in the greenhouse glass. So let's go ahead and finish making that, and let's get that put on in here. So there we have it, 7 and a little bit over a half a stack of glass. Got that little bit extra just in case I make a mistake while up here. So we're just going to fill this in 4 blocks in on each side, leaving the exact middle of this alone. And there I went and made 2 mistakes. Do we get it back or does it break? It breaks and it's gone. So there's 2 mistakes. So I hope I really don't make too much more. Now, like I said, it's 4 blocks in. We're leaving the middle alone. That's 2, 3, 4, and that should be the middle where that water source is, because there's no need to grow crops there, because that's the water source for the crop growing area. So we're not going to mess with that. We're just going to leave that open, and actually, we're just going to go ahead and fill that in with a piece of spruce real quick. That's going to mark our area. We're going to end up hanging down some lights or something. We have the crossbars here from the glass itself going into the block, so it looks like it is being suspended. So that's going to work out. And all the rest of these are going to be filled in. So let's get this filled in, come back in just a moment, and then we'll actually fill in the dirt for the rest of the spots as well. Then we'll come back after we get all this done. So finally we got all of our dirt in here. We have it all tilled into farmland, and we have chandeliers hanging down as well to provide a little bit of light for whenever it's nighttime. Now I went out to a swamp looking for lily pads, and I came across flowered lily pads. And so we were going to use those just in the center there. Go ahead and give a little bit of protection to the water so you don't accidentally fall in the water and have to jump out and ruin the tilled dirt, accidentally turn it back to regular dirt. So we're just going to throw all these flowered lily pads in here. We're going to call that good. Well, this part is fully done. This part, not quite. We got a little bit more to do, and nighttime is upon us here. I'm going to go ahead and fall asleep, but we're going to have to go ahead and grab some stair blocks, and let's get a little bit of a roof going on this thing. All right, so I'm about to start on this roof here, and I see a little bit of a problem coming up already with those particular glass blocks there. Trying to connect the roof doesn't quite look right, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to break all these out, pull this down a layer. Actually, I may have to pull it down 2 layers to make it line up with this correctly. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll continue with this. Well, I'll admit I am not the happiest with that kind of roof, but at least with that barn style roof and this nice big chandelier inside here, I wanted to keep these spaces available because we're going to go ahead and grab some paintings to put in here. And I just realized we don't even have a door yet. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a birchwood door. I'm going with the birchwood strictly because it's got the windows on it. I'll take a look at the... Nope, don't even have to take a look at that. I can just come over here and go doors. If I can spell correctly. So, oak door does have windows on it. Birchwood has those shaded windows. And looking at the other doors that are available... Yeah, I think I like that the most. That birch door. That's why we're going to make birch. It's one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and make a couple of birch doors. And let's get those put on. Let's get that put on there. And I kind of want the door to be recessed. So we're going to go ahead and put it on from the other side. And there we go. Now let's go ahead and make a couple paintings to throw up there and maybe on the outside as well. Maybe we can find a good painting to go out there that would show that it's a greenhouse. Let's see what we can do. All right, let's see what kind of paintings we're going to get here. If I go ahead and place it, that's only a 2x2. That's a 3x3. That's too big. We kind of want it to be limited to this size. I thought there were 4x4 paintings, and unfortunately I dropped all my paintings. Let's go get them. So let's try this again. So that's a 3x3 is what we want. That's only a 2x2. There, close. That's a 2x4. So let's try putting that one block down there. Kind of frame that area. So again, 2x2, 2x2. We're just not getting the 3x3. So, okay, we'll have to go with the 2x2s. So, Socrates, or whoever that is, sure, we'll go with that. That'll work. It's as if the guy is enjoying the peace here at the farm. And let's go ahead and see what we can get for the other painting. There's a 4. 4? That's a 4x4. That's a bit large. Let's limit that again. And we're actually limiting the wrong corner. Sure, we'll go with that. That works for me. It's just something nice to look at from a distance here. Yeah. We can go ahead and go with that. So that looks good for me. Now we have pretty much just one more task to do, which is to take all of these chests. And let's actually just start out with... Oh, that's right. We're in 1.12, which means we need to make trap chests in order for them to go next to each other. That shouldn't be a problem. Let's go ahead and make some trap chests. We need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Well, you know what? I want to see the stairs there. So let's just go ahead and do 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 trap chests to go ahead and put in here. Be right back. All right, we got all the chests in on either side, and so there's only one more thing for us to do here, and that is to start planting some seeds down, and let's see if we can't get some things to grow. We're definitely going to need some wheat when it comes to making flour and feeding the animals outside there. And also, I can get rid of all of these little farming plots that we have all the way around this place, thanks to the village. No longer needed. And animals, you are way too loud. So we can grab all these up. It's just not needed anymore. Now, of course, we're going to need some carrots for both the pigs and the villagers themselves so that they can do their thing when we set up our little village breeder system, the infinite village breeder. So we can try to get all the necessary enchantment books. Really? We just want the mending. And holy cow, animals, calm down. But let's go ahead and get a whole bunch of stuff planted, and that's going to do it really for this episode, because we got the greenhouse completed, which was the biggest task that we were doing for today. And actually this task has taken me hours and hours and all week of working on it from the last episode, but we're done with it. So that's going to be enough wheat. Our greenhouse is done. We're set to go ahead and move on. So I'm going to go ahead and let all the other KerPOWCraftians know that the community garden house greenhouse is done. And people can come on in and start planting and start harvesting. It's going to be great. We're working together to go forward. So until next time, everybody, can't take off my work. Don't have inventory space. So until next time, everybody, take care, be well, and I hope to see you again soon.